This is the island of Aruba. Hi guys, I just returned from a 5-day trip to Aruba, and today I'm going to share with you some of the best things to do, sights to see, and a few things to know before your trip to this incredible Caribbean island. There are so many islands in the Caribbean, so why choose Aruba? This Dutch Caribbean island is situated 19 miles off the coast of Venezuela and is hailed as one of the highest repeat visitor islands in the Caribbean. Along with its picturesque white sand beaches and luxury resorts, this island also has an adventure side because of its unusual arid desert landscape. Whether you're looking to relax and unwind, off-road into the desert, or stroll throughout town for shopping and eating, Aruba has a wide selection of things to do for everyone. We have been spending all day driving around the island. It's really not that big. It's 20 miles long and really only takes like less than an hour to get from one side to the other. And the really good thing is that they drive on the right side of the road because I would be super confused. Aruba is relatively small, spanning about 21 miles from one side of the island to the other. The bus system is great if you're on a budget and runs up and down the island, making stops at all of the main beaches. While there is no Uber or any other ride-hailing app, the taxis are very reliable, they are government regulated, and they are easy to flag. We ended up renting a car, which made it very convenient for us to see the island on our own time. They do drive on the right side of the road, which was relieving for me because I did a lot of the driving. It makes me anxious even thinking about trying to drive on the opposite side. The roads are modern, they're well maintained, so it's very easy to get to every beach, which most of them are public beaches. Speaking of beaches, Eagle Beach is a very popular beach for locals and tourists with powder-fine white sand, turquoise waters, and low tide waves. A local friend of mine actually makes this spot her daily morning swim exercise. Palm Beach is just north of Eagle Beach and it's part of the resort area, but it also is a public beach, so you do not have to be staying at the resorts to access those beaches. But Aruba isn't just about the beaches. Aruba has an unusual landscape. While the westernmost part of the island has all of the beautiful, top-rated Caribbean beaches, there is a large part of the island that is a rugged desert dominated by cactus, aloes, and palm trees. At times, it makes you feel like you're in Arizona or somewhere in the southwest US. If you want to venture out into that area, there are quite a few day Jeep tours, but if you want to do the exploring on your own, I recommend renting a 4x4, whether it's a Jeep or a UTV. The island is pretty flat with the highest points, more like hills, in ARIKOK National Park. Yes, they have a national park there. We just drove through the entrance to ARIKOK National Park. Is that how you pronounce it? ARIKOK. ARIKOK. Anyway, we just drove through the entrance of ARIKOK National Park. We had to go to the visitor center first and get tickets to enter the park. So you got a wristband, cost us $11 US each. They give you this map, which basically has everything in the wind here. There's a lot of wind. If you haven't heard, this is quite a windy island. There's a lot of places that you can't reach unless you go hiking, unless you have a 4x4 vehicle. Everything you can do in this park. She's blown away! This This was definitely a highlight of our trip. You could spend days exploring over 20 different sites to see in the park. Since we just had a few hours, we didn't get to check out every place. There are a lot of other cool and unusual things, like you could go swimming in natural pools, you could go exploring in these caves. There's a donkey sanctuary there where there's all these wild donkeys hanging around. And there's also an ostrich farm. We did end up finding this lone restaurant, full-serving restaurant in the middle of the desert. It really just pops up out of nowhere. The restaurant was great. It's called BOCA PRINS, and there's cold drinks, a lot of tasty local cuisine there. Speaking of local food, there are hundreds of restaurants in Aruba that even the pickiest of eaters will not have a hard time finding something delicious to eat. Aruba Experience Patisserie is a coffee shop with paninis, arepas, salads, and more. This is a coffee slash breakfast place, and it was recommended to me by a local Aruban, and I was really excited to go see it because obviously it was a local recommendation, and I love the local recommendations. The menu is Latin Caribbean fusions of paninis and smoothies, and we just ordered some arepas. What's also really great about this menu is that they do have vegan and vegetarian options for those of you who have dietary restrictions or, you know, have different diets. Definitely come check this place out. The decor is so cute. Put this coffee breakfast place on your list of things to do. SANTOS is another great spot for coffee and brunch. It's located right next to a casino if anyone is up for some gambling. And one of the top recommendations I have for you is to go to this place called Zerovers. Zerova, as they say in Aruba. It's a casual indoor-outdoor restaurant right on the pier. It is a bit of a drive away from the high-rise hotels, but it is well worth it.
Man of the hour right here.
I think so.
It was the best value meal so far on our trip, and might have been the tastiest and the most fresh meal we had.
Oh my goodness.
First time you have been here then?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They don't really have a menu. It's just a board with a list of freshly caught seafood of the day. So you just get in line, you get up to the window, and you tell them how much of whatever today's catch you want. Then they grab the bunch, they throw that in the fryer, and then they serve it in a basket. If you're in the Caribbean, it is never a bad day spending your afternoon on a boat. We took a catamaran boat tour with 3 stops to swim and snorkel. There are all kinds of boat tours ranging in different prices, but this one was the best for our budget. It was anywhere between $50 to $60 for an entire afternoon on the boat. It is open bar. They do serve appetizers. They also give you all of the snorkeling gear. We made frequent stops for swimming and snorkeling, and if you're up to it, diving into the sunken ships. Today we're snorkeling. We've come to our first stop that we're making, which will be snorkeling and potentially a little bit of free diving around a sunken World War II ship, a sunken German World War II ship. It's called the Antilla Shipwreck. It's called the Antilla Shipwreck. Aruba has one of the highest concentration of sunken ships in the Caribbean. I have to admit, the waters were pretty rough that day. It was an extra windy day in Aruba. Well, it's always windy in Aruba. We were still able to get some good shots of the sunken ship, the SS Antilla. Aruba is a windy island year-round, so it is a windsurfer and kite surfer's paradise. This was one activity that we unfortunately didn't get to try, but I feel like I have to return to Aruba to take some kite surfing or windsurfing lessons. And there are so many different schools you can choose from at any skill level. So the last on our list is a place called Flamingo Beach. So this is Flamingo Beach. Obviously, it's because there are flamingos here. Whoa!
So cool. Okay. Whoa.
This is the first time I've ever seen flamingos not at a zoo and just walking right next to me. And I had no idea that they were this tall and that they were just this kind of docile, friendly, I guess. This was the last thing we did in Aruba, and it was definitely unique as I've never been on a beach with flamingos walking around me. I must say this was the most expensive part of our trip because this island where Flamingo Beach is actually a private island owned by the Renaissance Hotel. So if you are staying at the Renaissance Hotel, you have free beach access to this place. But if you're not, this is where it kind of gets tricky and expensive. If the hotel is not full, they open up a maximum of 30 spots that are first come, first served basis. These day passes cost $99 per person. That's including the ferry to and from the island, which only takes like less than 10 minutes. And it does come with a drink and lunch. In order to get the spot, we called the hotel a couple days beforehand just to get the lowdown of the process of what it's like to get to that island. So the tickets are sold at the Renaissance Hotel, which opens at 7:15 a.m. Good morning. It's 5:06 a.m. right now. We are getting our butts up because we really want to go see this Flamingo Beach that they have here. They only take like 25 tickets total a day to go there, so we gotta like go get ferry tickets to go to this like island that's only a 10-minute ferry ride away because it has flamingos. It's really exclusive because you can't really go to that beach with flamingos unless you stay at the hotel on that island. Then they only sell 25 tickets total per day, and right now they only have 15 left, so we gotta get our butts up, go straight to the ferry building and see if we can buy tickets right now. Okay, let's go. We gotta go. Good morning, sunshine. How we doing? Are you okay to drive, Laura?
Oh, yeah.
You sure you want me to drive?
Oh, no, it's all good.
Okay. We've been waiting here since about 5:45, and look how long the line is. And I think there's only 15 spots today, so let's see if we get it. We are headed to Flamingo Beach right now. We're in the Renaissance Mall. This is where you go to get your tickets for it. We're really lucky that we got tickets. It was pretty much a 50-50 chance just because it's so, you know, they only sell a certain number. From this inside the mall, they have the ferry boat that is right here. Thank you. Yeah, that took probably less than 10 minutes to get here. There are a lot of other things you can do on the island where Flamingo Beach is, but we just decided we wanted to hang around flamingos because they're human-like in a way. They come up to you and they check you out, they'll look you in the eye, and then they walk past you to see what the next person's doing. You can also feed the flamingos. You just need a quarter in American coins. You go to the little feeder and you put in a cup, and then you can put it in your hands and feed the birds. Okay, so a few other things to note in Aruba is when to go. Fortunately, Aruba is not in the hurricane belt that tends to hit all the other Caribbean islands, so you can go year-round. You can go anytime you want. Aruba does have their own currency. It's called the florine, but the US dollar is widely accepted. There are ATMs everywhere. They take credit card everywhere, so that wasn't an issue. And lastly, the tap water is safe to drink. Aruba has one of the largest desalination plants in the world, so their water is extremely clean and pure. This was an excellent trip. It's quite an easy trip to make a long weekend out of. If you have anything to recommend about Aruba for anyone else that's watching that I missed, please comment below. And guys, if you liked this video, hit the thumbs up. Is it on that side? Wait, no, it's on that side. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and maybe I'll see you somewhere around this world sometime soon. Thank you for watching.